Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've been getting a lot of requests from you guys asking to do my full coverage foundation routine. So I figured I would share with you guys what I do to achieve a really flawless look. This is definitely not a makeup look that I wear on a day-to-day basis. This is what I wear when I'm going out somewhere special, like if it's date night, if I'm filming, or if I'm going to an event. Throughout the routine, I'll have some tips and tricks on how to make your foundation looking really flawless without looking really cakey or overly made up, and just overall how to keep your flawless face looking flawless longer throughout the day. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you find it helpful. And without further ado, here is my full coverage foundation routine. So I always start off my routine with a light layer of moisturizer, and lately I have been loving following up my moisturizer with the Milani Make It Last spray. So after the spray has dried, I then move on to my primer. I mainly focus my primer in the areas where I get the most oily, so that would be my forehead, nose, sides of my nose, and my chin area. And just to give the primer some time to sink into my skin, I'll just prep my lips with a little bit of lip balm. So now that my face is prepped and primed, I then move on to my foundation. So the key to making your full coverage foundation not look cakey and look a little bit more natural is to work in light layers. So I apply a really thin layer of my Holy Grail foundation, which is the NARS Sheer Glow. So I blend that all over my face with a beauty blender, and don't forget to blend your foundation down your neck. You don't want any lines of demarcation or your face not matching the rest of your body. The NARS foundation has really beautiful medium coverage, but when I want just a little bit more coverage to my skin, I apply a really thin layer of the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I place a couple dots of this foundation only in the areas where I need the extra coverage, so that's usually around my cheeks and chin, where I have a little bit of hyperpigmentation and acne scarring. So now that we have a flawless base, I then move on to concealing my under eyes. I am an insomniac, so I always have really dark under eye circles. So to minimize those dark circles, I start off with the NYX HD Concealer in CW05. It has a really nice peachy undertones, which is great for neutralizing those dark blue circles. And then to brighten up that under eye area and to highlight any parts of my face that I want to highlight, I move on to my NARS concealer in Custard. This is a really great concealer. It doesn't crease. It's great for layering on top of other concealers. So after I finish blending in my concealer, I'll flip the beauty blender around to the rounder side again and just pounce the concealer into my skin. This is going to help the concealer blend into my foundation for a more seamless look. Again, this isn't a routine that I do on a day-to-day basis, but when I do want to achieve a full and flawless look, I always bake my face. Baking your face with some loose translucent powder makes such a huge difference to how your foundation looks throughout the day. It just makes everything look really smooth and flawless. And you're probably wondering why I'm baking around my mouth area as well. It's because I have some fine lines and laugh lines around my mouth, so I find that if I bake those areas, it really helps make it look smooth and flawless, and it also helps prevent creasing throughout the day because I make a lot of facial expressions when I talk, so my foundation does pool around those areas and crease. So while the powder is baking my concealer and my foundation, I just move on to my eyebrows just to give the powder some time to sit on my skin. And then I'll just take a big fluffy brush and brush all the powder off, and it makes such a huge difference. The areas where I baked just looks a lot brighter and smoother, and it just gives my whole face such a flawless look. I absolutely love it. I rarely ever contour my face, but when I am going out somewhere special and want a more defined look, I'll just lightly contour my cheekbones, jawline, a little bit of my nose, and around my hairline. And to blend out any harsh lines from the contour, I'll just take a big fluffy brush and go over those areas with a little bit of bronzer. Here I'm just applying some blush, and my blush changes on a day-to-day basis. I'll have all the products that I use listed down below for you guys. And a makeup look just isn't complete without a little bit of highlighter. My tip with the highlighter is to blend it a little bit more towards the sides of your nose so that when you're talking to somebody or looking at them face forward, they still see your highlight and it just looks really soft and pretty. My favorite way to having my foundation lasting all day long is to spritz my face again with a setting spray and then just doing a light dusting of a setting powder on top. These last two steps really helps lock in my foundation and all the products that I layered on top so my skin looks flawless and stays looking flawless all day long. So that is it for my full coverage foundation routine, guys. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comment section below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys. I feel like it has a lot of the neutral colors that makeup beginners would feel more comfortable using, but also a nice like pop of color while also being very neutral and wearable.